Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be harvesting our potatoes. This is a day that we are always really excited for because it's one of our favorite things to harvest. We are going to try and be quick in the garden today because it's a little bit smoggy outside. We've been getting some more smoke from the Canada wildfires. It's not as bad as it was a few weeks ago. I know most of the smoke is the worst in like the Midwest right now. So hopefully if you're affected, just try and stay inside as much as you can and hope everyone's staying safe. It's definitely not the best, and we can see a little bit of a haze, but it was definitely worse a few weeks ago and we were trying to stay in more back then. I think you can kind of see on camera how it's just a little bit like hazy, especially against the trees. You can really see it. And before we get to harvesting, we have a little bit of a homestead update. One of our chickens decided to go broody, and surprisingly, it was one of our Red Star chickens. This is not a breed that typically goes broody very often, and it's very strange that she decided to do that. And we don't really want chicks this year. We have a lot going on with preparing for our goats, and we also just don't need more chickens. 10 chickens for the two of us is more than enough. So we've been taking her out of the nesting box that she's been trying to sit in, and she kept going back to it like immediately. So we just ultimately decided to put her in this like temporary coop. A lot of people call it like a broody breaker or a broody hen jail. So she's just going to be staying in here for the next few days. So hopefully that will break her broodiness because we just do not need a broody hen right now. And the other chickens have been enjoying some time in the grass. I had to take them off the grass for a couple of weeks just because the grass was just turning into straw with the drought we had, but now that we've had rain, the grass is finally growing again and it's nice and green, so they are getting some grass time. So anyway, here is the main bed of potatoes where I think we're going to be getting most of our potatoes from. We have harvested a few potatoes from here, just taking like a couple from each plant. But today I want to go through and do like a full harvest and pull everything out. Just because I think the plants are pretty much done at this point. They're looking very sad and falling over and starting to yellow. So I think the potatoes have grown as much as they're going to at this point. And if I take them out now, I'll have time to plant more things. I'm thinking I'm going to plant either beans or zucchini in this bed. So after we pull out these plants, that's probably what I'll do this week. But I think first we are going to start in this bed that is in the back part of our garden, in our in-ground bed. I don't think we have that many potatoes back here. I think the plants just didn't do really well back here. Maybe they didn't grow too much during the drought. I did try to water them, but maybe they didn't get enough water, or maybe it's just the variety. So I think we'll start back here because I think it's not going to be that impressive. So we'll get that over with, and then we're going to head back to the raised bed where I think the bulk of our potatoes are. So these are the German butterball potatoes. I thought the ones in our raised bed were German butterballs, but it's actually these ones. I cut them open the other day. They're super yellow inside. They do have a texture on the skins that I really don't like. It kind of creeps me out. It kind of looks like reptile skin. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know if there's going to be anything under there. Wow, good haul. So this is the haul from the first area. It's actually more than I thought it was going to be, so that's pretty good. Probably like half the basket. Mostly all German butterball potatoes, so I'm pretty happy with that. I thought there were only going to be like 5 potatoes in there. Before we head back to the raised bed, I just wanted to pull up this one volunteer plant that we had in one of our other beds. This came up from some potatoes that I guess were left over from previous years. And I'm not sure what variety it is since it's a volunteer, but I think the plant did pretty well considering, so we'll just pull it up and see what we end up with. Oh, I already got one. All right, go ahead and pull it up because I'm gonna. Wow.
Just one.
Hey, that's a good size one though.
Yeah,
I
look at
think
that.
this looks like it's a russet. Wow, that is a sphere.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Wow,
yeah.
pretty good for a volunteer
Well,
plant,
let's see
huh?
if I can- There's a big one right there, but
Yeah.
I want to see if it's safe here because I can. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh! That might be the biggest potato we've ever grown. And we didn't even plant this plant.
Oh, we didn't.
So that's the secret to potatoes is we can't
Stop
plant
trying.
them, they just have to volunteer themselves. Wow, those are good sized ones.
Yeah, that's it.
We got some fat worms in here. Look at that big worm.
Alexa's dreaming now, drifting off my couch. We walk down streets she's walked.
We switched to a box because our basket was getting too full. Who would have thought we'd be picking so many potatoes?
Worms are
Ooh.
not grilled. Oh wow!
Ah, let me get it.
Look at the size of this.
Ooh, nice.
And this guy. Oh,
That one's got
actually,
some
look at
big
this guy. Look at
ones.
this guy.
Wow. Ah.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa, this plant's the winner.
No, we're the winner. We get to eat them.
Yeah. Nothing.
Oh, look at the size. Is that a worm or a snake?
Whoa.
Good gracious.
Whoa. Wow, he's slippery.
Oh, look at him go.
Simpler times, I never cried when summer died.
All right, so here is the final haul. We ended up just using our 2 different baskets, which is more than I thought we would need for this. I definitely thought that we were just gonna fill the one small basket, but we have a pretty good layer in the big one. And then I think most of these are the German butterballs. I did try and separate them. And then all of these are what I thought was russet, but when I cook them, they look a little bit more golden. Either way, I'm pretty happy with the haul this year. I think this is probably the best potato harvest we've ever had. In the past, we tried growing potatoes in containers and that did not work for us. So the raised beds and the in-ground beds definitely do better. So I think we're just gonna quickly hose these off just to get some of the dirt off, and I'll let them air dry out here for a little bit and then we can bring them in so that they can dry out. We try to use our potatoes as quickly as possible because they don't store very well for us in our house. We have a very warm house, which is just how we like it, but the potatoes don't like to be stored in it. So they usually get soft and go bad pretty quickly. So we'll try and eat these as quickly as possible. I actually decided to preserve some of the potatoes because I was worried that we weren't going to be able to eat them quickly enough. Once I got them in the house, it did look like a lot more potatoes. So what I did was I ended up blanching and freezing maybe like a quarter or a third of the potatoes we harvested. And I did this in a few different shapes so that we would have different uses for the potatoes. So I did large wedges that could be kind of like roasted wedge fries. Then I did a smaller dice that would be good for maybe like potato hash or home fries. size, and then I did large chunks that I think will be good for boiling, for making mashed potatoes, and then we can also use those for things like shepherd's pie and things like that later in the winter. For the small dice, I blanched for probably only like 1 or 2 minutes, and for the larger pieces, I did 3 or 4 minutes. This is my first time preserving potatoes in any kind of way, but I'm hopeful that it'll work out well. I'll report back on that later in the year. But I am really excited to have some of those potatoes put away so that I don't have to worry about them going bad, and then we can save some of them for the future instead of trying to eat like 20 pounds of potatoes in 2 weeks. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.